The wounded alien woman closed her eyes, thinking I would kill her when she saw me. I found her under a broken sky, lit with a pale green glow that came from the shattered remains of the atmosphere. The battle had ended 3 days ago, and the silence left in its wake was thicker than smoke. I was walking through the wreckage of a fallen ship, its hull torn open like the ribcage of some massive beast, when I heard a sound that was not metal or wind or silence. It was a breath. Shallow, labored, alive. She lay half buried beneath a pile of scorched debris. Her skin was silver with streaks of violet light glowing faintly along her arms and neck. One eye was swollen, shut the other wide, and filled with something between terror and exhaustion. She looked at me for a moment, then closed her eyes as if surrendering not to fate or fear, but to certainty. She thought I would kill her. She was right to think it. Our sides had been enemies for more than 6 years. We called them hostiles, invaders, monsters. They called us the same. I had seen what her kind could do, what we could do. I had no reason to help her. No order demanded it. No mission required it. But something in me stopped my hand when it went to my sidearm. She looked broken. I dropped my weapon and crouched beside her. She flinched when I touched her shoulder, but did not resist when I began to move the metal from her body piece by piece. She had a gash in her thigh, and 2 fingers on her left hand were mangled. She needed help. Medical, food, shelter. I did not speak. I doubted she would understand. And yet something in her breathing changed as I wrapped her wounds and lifted her into my arms. Not trust, not comfort, but a thread of something like hope, or the memory of it. I took her to my camp. It was nothing more than a cave hidden beneath the scorched roots of what had once been a massive tree. I laid her down, gently covered her with a thermal blanket, and offered her water. She drank slowly, her eyes never leaving mine. 3 days passed. She did not speak. I tried once or twice to ask her name or her unit, but she only stared or looked away. Her wounds healed slowly. The gash on her leg closed with the help of a med patch. Her hand began to regain motion. Every now and then she would reach for something that was not their weapon to communicate her memory. On the 4th day, she said a word. Lena. I thought she meant herself. I pointed to her and said, Lena. She looked at me, shook her head, and pointed upward to the sky. Her voice cracked when she said it again, softer this time. Lena. I began to understand. A name. Not hers. Someone else. Someone lost. She pointed at me, then raised her hand in a gesture I had seen among prisoners of war. Fingers pressed to her chest palm open. A symbol of peace, or surrender. I pressed my hand to my chest in the same way. That night, she slept without fear for the first time. I watched her breathe, her chest rising slowly, her face free of pain. It felt strange to protect someone I was trained to kill. Stranger still to care. When morning came, we heard movement. A drone. It hovered low, scanning the landscape. She scrambled to her feet, prepared to run. I stepped in front of her, raised my hands, and waited. The drone passed without stopping. She looked at me with new eyes. Later, I found the remains of a comm unit, and we spent the next day trying to fix it. She worked silently, fingers flying over broken wires and circuits with delicate precision. I handed her tools, and she began teaching me words in her language. Short ones. Names of things. Fire, sky, food, peace. I taught her mine. When the comm crackled to life, we froze. A voice spoke through the static in a language I could not understand. She responded quickly, voice tight with urgency. Then silence. She turned to me and spoke slowly. They are coming. I nodded. We waited. When the rescue ship arrived, it hovered above the canyon with a light so bright it drowned the stars. She stood beside me wearing a suit I had stitched together from fabric and scavenged plating. She looked at me and held out her hand. I took it. She led me to the ship and spoke to the guards. At first they raised weapons, but she stood in front of me, arms wide, voice loud. I did not know what she said, but I knew it mattered. I knew it changed something. They lowered their weapons. Inside the ship, everything was white and silver. Clean. Silent. She stayed near me watching as they checked her vitals and patched her wounds. She refused to leave my side. The captain came. Tall. Cold. Authority carved into his every movement. He looked at me, then at her. Why? It was not a question. It was judgment. She answered with the same hand pressed to her chest. Peace. They allowed me to stay. For a time. On their world, everything was light. Gravity felt wrong. Air tasted like metal. I was studied. Not cruelly, but constantly. She stayed close, always speaking for me, always watching. Weeks passed. We walked through gardens where plants grew without soil. We stood beneath skies filled with 3 moons. We sat in rooms where others came to stare and left uncertain. She spoke more each day, told me her name was Yura, that Lena was her sister, killed in the same war I had fought, killed by someone like me. Yet she stayed. She asked me about Earth. I told her about oceans and snow and music. She asked me what I feared. I told her silence. She said silence was sacred. One day she brought me to a council, 12 of them, different shapes, sizes, faces. She spoke for me again. They asked if I would return to my world. I said no, not because I had nowhere to go, but because for the first time I had somewhere to be. With her, she placed a new name on my chest, a mark in her language. It meant survivor. She placed the same mark on hers. It meant forgiven. We stood together on a balcony high above her world. Wind brushed our faces. Lights danced below like fireflies. She turned to me. When I first saw you, she said, I thought you would kill me. I know, I said. Why did you not? I looked at her. I did not have an answer. Only this truth. Because you were alive. She smiled. A smile that held a world I had never known.